There are plenty of brilliant road bikes to look forward to in 2023, from carbon aero racers that will thrive in the Tour de France to titanium all-road machines which you'll have to sell a kidney to afford. While most of these bikes were launched in mid to late 2022, the bike industry is lagging behind with supply, so some of these bikes are yet to actually hit the shelves. Let's hope that they're a bit faster than that on the road. All of these bikes will turn heads, but which is your favourite? Let us know down in the comments below, and I'm sure you'll let us know if your favourite machine isn't included. Rub your eyes and look again. No, Giant hasn't just bolted the front end of an aero bike to the back half of a TCR. This is the latest version of the Propel, and also one of last year's worst kept secrets in cycling. We first saw shots of the Propel on Instagram before Team Bike Exchange's Dylan Groenewegen and Michael Matthews went and won very different stages of the Tour de France on it. Those wins, a super fast sprint and a punchy climb, would have been Giant's dream scenario for PR perfection as they backed up their claims with the new Propel. Namely, that you can have aero and lightweight in a single package. For example, the dreamy Dura Ace spec that we tested tips the scales at only 6.91 kilos. So if you have a secret, don't trust Giant with it, but you might want to give them your cash if you're after a bike that can climb and sprint with the best. While aero is great, we're all about shiny things here at BikeRadar, and the new Vamoots CRD from Moots is some serious titanium temptation with round tubes and seat stays that run beautifully into the top tube. Moots has made this titanium dream fully integrated for the cleanest look, and to that end the CRD is compatible only with electronic group sets. To keep that seamless look, the hydraulic hoses are routed through an Enve Aero stem before passing through the Chris King Aeroset upper headset bearing. The Vamoots CRD retains the double-butted RSL titanium tube set, as well as the 3D printed dropouts the brand is renowned for. The latter apparently helps to save weight while adding to axle stiffness. Moots has stuck with an 86.5mm wide T47 bottom bracket for screw-in simplicity, giving you space for plush 32mm tyres, and they've opted for a 27.2mm seat post to make things easy for the customer. What isn't easy is finding at least $13,000 to buy one. Ouch. Possibly the most radical road design that we've seen in years, the Trek Madone introduced the Hole, also known as ISOFlow. It aims to reduce the effect of the trailing low pressure zone behind the bike and rider, reducing your overall drag. In real terms, the scores on the doors are that this bike is 19 watts more aerodynamically efficient at 45 km per hour. You've just got to get to 45 km per hour first. Actually, you don't even have to be doing pro speeds to see the aero benefits. Trek says that you'll see savings at 35 km per hour, which is much more attainable to the average rider. Trek Segafredo's pro riders like Ellen van Dijk contributed to the design, so it's no surprise to see that this is a go faster bike which excels in bunch racing. If you manage to draw your eyes away from the Hole, you'll find that Trek has kept some of the important stuff the same. The geometry is based around Trek's H1.5 fit, slotting in between the old Pro Racer H1 and more comfortable H2 geometry that you'll find on Trek's Domane SL and SLR endurance road bikes. There's also a new handlebar system, which Trek says puts the rider in a more aerodynamic position. In fact, this new bar does a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to making you faster. It's claimed that the bar helps to save 9.3 watts, or around half of the overall claimed saving, and it does this by reducing the bar width at the hood by a whopping 3 centimeters. So, if you're buying a Madone, be prepared to get rather narrow. It certainly worked for Trek's pro team, with Mads Pedersen taking a stage win at the Tour de France, but we probably join the majority of you as seeing this bike as the one with the hole in it. Enve has been a rather desirable brand for years, but they have only recently moved into the world of making frame sets. Typically for Enve, their Melee isn't a budget option, with frame sets starting at a cool $5,500. The monocoque Melee follows on from Enve's Custom Road, which, as the name suggests, focused on allowing customers to configure their bike to their specific needs. While the Custom Road is made in the US, the Melee is built overseas. This bike pushes what we'd define as a road bike, and really it slides into the all-road category, where you'll typically find a racy geometry combined with enough tyre clearance for well-graded gravel roads. Here, you've got space for 35mm tyres, and Enve will even treat you to some of their real-world Aero, with the Melee optimised for riding speeds in the 32 to 40 km/h range. You might only be saving 2 watts at the lower end, but over the course of a big day on the bike, that will add up. Away from Aero claims, the Melee oozes the bling factor, and we're not expecting to see a huge number of these bikes on the local club run. So if you're after something a little bit unique, then this would be an option for those with deep pockets. As I cast my mind back to the heady days of 2007, I can remember the first road race bike that I really fell in love with. Watching the CSC riders on their Cervelo Soloist bike, complete with fancy deep carbon wheels, left me wide-eyed and yearning for a spare $5,000. By that time, the Soloist was an established model, pushing the development of carbon as a frame material. Back in 2002, when we first saw the Soloist, Cervelo revolutionised Aero by using actual NACA aerofoils for the aluminium tube shapes, rather than mere approximations. What a time to be alive. After a period where Cervelo ditched the Soloist in favour of the S and R models, my first true love is back on the scene in a classic Disney remake. And while the price for the top end model has more than doubled, the more significant thing is the Soloist rebranding from Aero Racer to an Aero All-Roader for all. The highest spec Soloist has Ultegra Di2, and the range starts with a mechanical Shimano 105 edition, showing that the bike is aimed more at amateur racers than the pros. Cervelo being Cervelo, you'll find a BB right bottom bracket, though helpfully for the home mechanic, this is of the T47 variety that we first saw on the R5 CX cyclocross bike. During his review of the Ultegra Di2 model, senior tech editor Warren Rossiter sang the praises of the Soloist, saying that he loved the smooth ride and front-end simplicity that should make the bike lovely to own. If you could only own one, which would you buy? And what bikes just had to be on this list that we've left out? Let us know down in the comments below. If you want more brilliant bikes, we took a look at 8 of the best from the Gravel World Championships. Before you go, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to support the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.